Hey there, it's Andrew. Glad you made it this far. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can instantly increase your revenue by 10 to 40% within the next 45 days. This video is for tech founders who are above the 50K or 100K MRR, and you're looking for new ways to scale and grow. Now, this video is going to take about 30 to 35 minutes, but I guarantee you that for every 10 minutes that you watch this video, you're going to get the knowledge on how to increase your revenue by 10%. All right. So if that sounds good, let's go ahead and get started. Now, does this sound like you? You're at a point where you've achieved a consistent revenue and you're looking for new avenues to scale and grow. And maybe in the past, you've spent hundreds or thousands of dollars running Facebook or Google ads, and it's not gotten you any results. And now you have a landing page and traffic, but maybe it's not converting into more customers or more book calls. And you want to maximize the results you get from organic traffic. And maybe you're at a point where you've got a marketable product that's bringing revenue, and you simply want to increase sales and revenue by finding new avenues for growth. Because who doesn't want more sales and more revenue, right? Now, before I continue, I want to tell you briefly about who I am and why I'm authorized to talk about this topic. My name is Andrew O. I'm an award-winning UX strategist, designer, and author. I've been in my field for over the past decade, and these are some of the clients I've worked with in the past, including HSBC, where I helped lead the design of an award-winning product that got millions in sales and thousands of users. It became HSBC Canada's best growing digital product, which consistently exceeded its monthly target quarter by quarter. In the past 2 years, I started my own design agency, and now I'm helping tech founders grow and increasing their revenue through what I call my profit surge strategy. I'm going to start off by sharing 2 of my previous client case studies. So this is Fierce, and Fierce is from cryptodispensers.com. It's a platform where users can sign up and then buy Bitcoin with cash. He was at a point where he had a validated product. It was a good product, but he was getting low sales. He had a good amount of traffic, but wanted to increase the number of users and get more sales. After working with me, we managed to increase his conversions by 30%. And this meant that he was getting a 30% boost on more signups every day. This meant that it also increased the effectiveness of his ad spend. So for example, if you were spending about like $100 and that got you 100 users, because we increased the conversion rate of that by 30%, this means that spending $100 is now going to get you 130 customers. So because of this, it meant that he was getting more paying users. And this increase was something that was happening every day. This is Mark from Rosetta Stone FitBrains. And FitBrains is a brain training game. They were doing about 300K in MRR. And then after working with us, we managed to increase their monthly recurring revenue to 360 in just 2 months. And this was done by increasing their sales by 35%. So how do we do it? It's through what I call the profit surge strategy. And this is going to help you increase your revenue by 10 to 40% within the next 45 days. There are 3 parts to this. Number 1, we want to focus on direct revenue growth. Number 2, it's what I call hidden traffic treasure. And number 3, it's called conversion rate maximization. So let's go ahead. You might have heard about search engine optimization, or SEO. And that's because everyone talks about SEO, right? When it comes to growth, SEO is one of the things that you want to incorporate into your strategy for long-term growth because it brings in more traffic and that gets you more users and more sales. Now, there are 2 things that you need to know about SEO. Number 1 is that it takes months to see results. So it's not necessarily the most effective if you want to see results much faster. And number 2, a surge in traffic won't boost your bottom line if you can't convert it into paying customers. And that is where CRO comes in. It's called conversion rate optimization. Because while everyone's talking about SEO and about getting more traffic, nobody is really aware of what CRO is, or at least I don't hear about it. And so conversion rate optimization is the practice of increasing the percentage of users who perform a desired action on a website. That could be signing up, clicking the sign up button, clicking the next button, clicking the shop or buy, right? So that leads to more sales. The benefits of CRO is that it helps you get more conversions, more engagement, and because of this, more revenue. It also decreases the cost per acquisition, as I said earlier. And it's a data-driven practice. So we know that for sure what is happening is statistically significant. And the best part of this is that it doesn't require months of development work to see results. Now, there's one thing that I want you guys to know, and that is if your entire product funnel isn't optimized, you're missing out on a 10 to 40% increase in users or sales every day. You might ask, like, well, why is this? I'm going to get into that in a second. So the way that conversion rate optimization works is that we have a baseline version. And if we do a split test of a website with another variation where we change one thing and we run large amount of visitors to that, one version will usually always perform better. So for example, we have our baseline website here. We have our version B. And the way we want to do this is we want to hypothesize something that will help increase the conversions. So maybe, for example, we say that changing this button to green is going to make it more bright, and therefore users are more likely to click on that. And because of this icon here, they're also more likely to click on that. And maybe because, you know, green aligns with our brand colors and things like that, that's what we want to do. And we want to test that, right? So that's our hypothesis. And let's just say we drive 1,000 users to each variation. What's going to happen is that we're going to see results. And the results are in this baseline version, after driving 1,000 users to this page, we see that it's gotten about us 200 clicks. Okay, so that's a 20% click-through rate. While in this version B, it got us 240 clicks, and that is a conversion rate of 24%. Now, you might think, well, this is only a 4% difference, okay? But it's actually not just a 4% difference. This is a 20% increase on the conversion rate. So 24% on top of 20%, that is a 20% increase. So that is significant. So this is actually what we did with Fierce from cryptodispensers.com. So this was his landing page. One of the things that we actually tested was the sign-up page. So this was the baseline version. And I hypothesized that by removing this first name and last name and this referral code, because it really wasn't needed here, we can reduce the amount of friction. And by reducing the amount of friction, it will lead to an increase in signups. So we created a second variation that looked like this. We had the email and password only. Now you might be asking, like, we can't just remove the first and last name because that's part of the business logic and we need that for, you know, validation or verification purposes or whatever. But what we actually did here was we shuffled things around and changed the design so that once the user created their account, we would then ask for their first and last name. And so by shifting things around, we can actually capture the email first, and then we can get the additional details later. So this is actually a good thing and a good way to go about it. So after we deployed these two variations, this was the result that we got. We got about a 19.8 or close to 20% in more signups every day by deploying this new version. In another test that we did, we managed to increase the conversion rate just by changing one thing on his landing page. Okay, and that changing that one thing led to a 10.77% boost in conversion rate of the signups. So you can see here the results here. With the baseline or the control version, we got about 1,041 visitors. So this was actually more visitors than the version 2 that we did. And this one actually, the version 2 we did, it actually converted more than version 1, the control version, right? So we can actually see that there is a statistical significance, and that's a rule of thumb. Usually after about 100 clicks, we can say and confirm that the data is pretty reliable at this point. So after everything, this meant he was getting about a boost of 30% in more signups every day. And it wasn't just something that happened once, he was getting that day after day. And you might ask, well, that's a B2C platform. Can this apply to B2B? The answer is yes, absolutely. This is Stephen from Curicubby, and Curicubby is a platform that helps school run their entire back office. So for example, if you own a school, you've got things like invoice, billing, payments, keeping track of student attendance and things like that. Their platform allows you to manage all of that. So what we did was we tweaked around the headlines, we played around with the buttons, the call to action, and also the sequences. And that led to a 30% increase in the click-through rate, which was leading to more book calls. Now, you might ask, how would a 30% increase in signups impact my business? Well, I created this illustration to show you what that can look like. Let's assume, we get about 25,000 visitors per month, and we're signing up at a rate of 20%. So 25,000, they land on the landing page, roughly 1 in 5 sign up and become a free user. That brings you to 5,000 free users. And let's assume we're running a freemium model like most SaaS companies are, and we convert about 10% of that. That's going to give us about 500 monthly subscribers. And let's just say we price our product at $29.99. That gives us a monthly revenue of just under 15,000. Now, assuming everything else stays the same, we have our variation, but instead of converting at a 20% sign-up rate, we're converting at 26%, right? Because 26% is a 30% increase on 20%. That's going to get you 6,500 users. And assuming everything else stayed the same, converting at 10%, it's going to get you 650 users. And because of this, your new monthly revenue is now $19,494. And as I said previously, it's a 30% increase month after month. So this is what I call direct revenue growth. You can boost your revenue simply by focusing directly on maximizing the conversion rate of your key product pages. Now, I'm sure as tech founders, you guys get a lot of pitches from people from LinkedIn saying that they can help you with growth, they can help your company with this and that. But be honest, right? A lot of them are going to be costs, right? It's a cost, not necessarily about growth. But at least focusing things on this way, you can see a direct increase in revenue. So that means when this part is done right, we can see direct results and the impact on revenue. This is going to help you cut through the noise and get to the core that helps you scale. And you can also achieve growth without additional costs like ads. Before I continue on to the next section, I want to talk about why most companies get stuck with a slow growth cycle. And the number one reason is that they don't have a lead generation or user acquisition system that acquires users at will. And this is an entirely new topic, which I'm going to cover in another video. So if you do need help with this part, I can definitely help you with that. The key part that I want to focus on is that they don't have a landing page that gets a visitor into a paying customer. And to do that, you need a validated offer. You need to have a clear positioning, a clear headline that expresses all of that. You need to have the proper supporting descriptions, strong and relevant call to action, trust and humanization elements. And you also need to be aware of the previous context where the users came from, right? So they could be watching a video, they could be looking at an ad, and then they decided to visit your page because of that. Now, because most tech founders don't have these elements in place, they try to run ads and then they say, well, ads don't work. I spent about $400 or sometimes even $4,000 and I didn't get a single conversion. It's not that ads don't work. The truth is that because you didn't have the proper pieces in place, that's why the users didn't convert. The additional thing that I want to talk about is that while you can get halfway with these, you also want to have additional systems like capture sequences, nurture sequences, follow-up sequences, and also booking sequences to maximize the amount of conversions that you get. Now, before we were talking about things from a quantitative side, I want to show you guys how important it is on the qualitative side of things. Back then, when I was working at HSBC, and this is the product which we got an award for, where I led the design, we had a nice landing page that looked like this. And it might look pretty to you, but one thing I want you guys to know is that a beautiful landing page does not necessarily equal a high converting landing page. And vice versa, a high converting landing page does not necessarily need to look beautiful. Anyways, if you read this headline, if I were to ask you to read this headline, and it said, navigate the world of investing with HSBC Wealth Compass, would you understand what this product does? Or would you think that it's sort of like very ambiguous and you're not clear or you don't understand what this product does? Because that's what happened when we tested this with our users. And this was the response. They said, I don't know what this product is about. It's not clear. And I'm not sure what this is. Now, the key thing is that you have 5 seconds at most to impress your visitors and capture them and clearly communicate what you guys do. If you don't do that within 5 seconds, they're going to leave your website. And that is why a clear headline is so important. We then changed this and we wordsmith this to get a personalized recommendation to invest online in our professionally managed low-fee HSBC Wealth Compass Fund. So if we were just to take a look at this headline actually packs a punch because you know what you're getting, and that is a personalized recommendation to invest online. So you know that this is online in a professionally managed low-fee HSBC Wealth Compass Fund. So this was a new headline. And then after we tested this with our users, this was the result. They said, I know what this product does. It is very clear, and I want to invest. So qualitatively, that is the difference you get from someone who won't sign up or who won't use your product versus someone who will. And this is what the results look like. So if they were to visit your website and you were able to capture their attention, you would get another user and another sign up. All right, so number 2, this is what I call hidden traffic treasure. If you've got a sizable user base and you have a decent amount of traffic, and I would say at minimum, that would be 400 per day, you're likely missing out on a 10 to 40% potential revenue gain every day. So if you've gotten to a point where you're generating a monthly revenue based on organic traffic, the good thing is we can tap directly into that. And just like what I showed you previously, these are all of the things that we can test. On the landing page, we got about 7 things we can test: the offer, positioning, headline, descriptions, call to action, humanization elements, layouts. On a sign-up page, the onboarding sequence, input fields, layouts. On the system, we can test the capture sequence, nurture sequence. We can optimize the follow-up sequence and then also a booking sequence. And on the pricing page, which I want to talk about, is you can optimize the pricing structure, layouts, plans, and then also the visual design. Because that is what we did with Mark from Rosetta Stone FitBrains. So again, this is a brain training app. Users would download the app, they would play the games to train their brain. And if they wanted to subscribe, they would go on to the payment page that looked like this. Now, I don't know if you notice, and this might just look like an average payment page, but this payment page was actually not very well optimized. So if we were to zoom in and look at this page on the right, if this text was actually the size of the phone, this text here would actually not be very easy to read. And other things like the input fields, this is actually very, very small. And same with the button as well. And it's also missing a lot of trust and potential psychological elements that we can incorporate here. This is the redesign that we did. So as you can see, the input field is a lot bigger, a lot easier to tap. Same with the button as well. And we added things like discount. So we actually had that before, but it actually wasn't very readable. It's all the way down here. And they actually had a 30-day money-back guarantee, which wasn't present here. So we added that in as well. And then we also played around with the colors, the pricing. So for example, this chevron here hints that you can tap into that. So it just gives you that little sort of boost there. After we tested this, the result we got was that it led to a 35% boost in more sales. So let's take a look at how much of an impact a 35% increase in sale would have on your business. So again, this was the illustration we used the last time. Everything else is going to stay the same. But let's say we deploy a new version where we improve the sales page. So again, 25,000 visitors, nothing's changed. Converting at that same 26% rate now because we optimized that landing page from before. You get 6,500 users. And instead of converting at 10%, we're converting now at 13.5%. That's going to give you 878 paying users. And that's going to boost your revenue from 19,000 all the way to $26,331. Wow, crazy, right? At this point, we're almost doubled compared to what we had before. Now, the thing I want you guys to know that we did a 30% increase and we did a 35% increase. And you might think, well, how did we get 76% on this when it's supposed to be roughly 65? The thing I want you guys to realize is that the results, they stack on top of each other. So the 35% increase we did on top, it was on top of that 30%. And that amounts to a total of 76%. And you get that month after month. So when this part is done right, this means that we can unlock new avenues for growth immediately. We can identify the small changes that leads to big impacts. And the best part of this is that we don't have to spend months of building new features to see results. Now, number 3 is what I call conversion rate maximization. Let's throw out conversion rate optimization and maximize the conversions of an entire funnel. We don't want to just stick with CRO. We want to take those principles and evolve them and apply that to our entire product funnel. So that means we're going to audit our entire product funnel from the landing pages, the registration, the product pages, and find additional opportunities to get more users to becoming paying customers. So we can find opportunities in the sales page. We can find opportunities in the sequences, like all the things that we talked about previously that we can test. And then we're going to increase the conversions on all of these pages. Now, let's just say through optimizing the sequence, we were able to add additional 2% conversion. So by optimizing, let's just say the follow-up sequence, maybe you had something before, maybe not. But in doing so, we added 2% conversion rate from our free users of 6,500. So again, everything else stays the same, but we're converting it at an additional 2%. That's going to get your monthly subscription up to 1,008 users. And at that same price, it's going to bring your monthly revenue to $30,229. Crazy, right? Now, at this point, we've doubled our revenue month after month. And again, the results, the gains, they're going to stay there month after month. Pretty cool, right? Well, we're not done yet. Let's just say we add an additional 3% into your conversion rates. You might ask, well, where did this 3% come from? And what I want you guys to know is that optimization isn't just a one-time thing. It's not like we optimize the landing page and say, great, we're finished. Now we're done. Because of all the things that we can test, and I showed you that list earlier, we can continuously test and optimize and keep getting gains after gains. So back to our calculation here. Assuming, again, everything else is the same, we add an additional 3% on our sign-up rate of our landing page. That gets us more users. And let's just say we add an additional 3% on our sales page. That's going to bring us more users, more monthly paid users, and now we're sitting at $33,977. Wow. So compared to our monthly revenue before to now, it is more than double. Now, I want to show you guys the big picture of what it would look like if you maximize your conversion rate of your entire product funnel compared to you doing nothing. So if you do nothing here, you're going to be growing at a rate of 15K per month. So looking at this black graph here, month 2, you're going to be at 30,000 and then 45, 60, 75, 90. But if you optimize your entire product funnel and you maximize the conversion rates, you're going to be getting there pretty quickly. So by month 3, you're at 102,000, right? That's going to be compared to what you would have done in 6 months if you did absolutely nothing. And by month 6, you're going to double that. And we're talking about cumulative revenue here. So this is what I call the profit search strategy. How to increase your revenue by 10 to 40% within the next 45 days. 1, we want to focus directly on revenue growth, on the things that can get us more users and more sales. Number 2, digging into that hidden traffic treasure. So if you got organic traffic coming in, we can tap into that to increase your revenue. And then number 3, we're going to maximize the conversion rate of our entire product funnel so that you can get gains on gains month after month. And when you do all of that, it's going to help you boost the impact you want to make on the world. It's going to help you increase your revenue for months to come. It's going to allow you to grow and scale much faster and without spending months building new features. And the typical results look like this. And these are the results that I've gotten for my clients. So we were able to get them about 45% in new signups every day, 30% more emails captured, 20 to 30% more sales of those ready to buy, and convert 2 to 5% of those who were not ready to buy. And all of that leads to a 10 to 40% increase in your revenue month after month. So I want you to imagine how it would make you feel if we could add a 10 to 40% increase in your revenue month after month. So now I've given you the framework. If you feel like you got good value out of this workshop and you can take it and run with it, then you can try things yourself. However, that means you'll need to figure out all the elements to look for and to optimize. And to do this, you're going to need specific expertise. You're going to have to pay a monthly fee for conversion rate optimization software, and those can range anywhere from the hundreds to thousands. On top of that, you're going to spend days figuring out how to get actual results. And the most important thing is that you need to take time out of your business to do this at an ongoing basis to make sure you're getting it right. Now, if you want to eliminate that hassle and get the expertise you need to implement these strategies quickly and effectively, what we can do for you is you can get my team and I to help you on a complete done-for-you basis. And what this means is that you get unlimited optimizations on your entire product funnel to hit your return on investment and maximize your revenue. For all the screens that we're going to test, the final screens, mockups, we're going to create all of that for you, and we're going to run those tests for you. Additionally, you're also going to get email, SMS copy, and also follow-up sequences that we know are highly converting, and they're going to drive additional sales. On top of that, I'm going to offer you a bonus, which is there's going to be unlimited weekly 30-minute product design consultation that just leverages my decade of product design experience as an award-winning UX strategist if you ever want a second opinion on your product. Now, the second bonus that I'm going to offer to you is that the cost of the conversion rate optimization software is going to be complimentary, and that's going to save you hundreds or thousands per month. If you don't believe me, you can go to vwo.com. That's one of the software we've used in the past, and you can take a look at the pricing. And conversion rate optimization software is not cheap. Now, in terms of timelines, this is what it's going to look like. Week 1, we're going to do a deep dive of your entire product funnel and look for all the missed opportunities. And then we're going to plan all the tests out for you, and we're going to start running them on week 2. That's when we're going to launch. Now, week 4 to 6, we're going to continue maximizing the optimization of your entire product funnel to deliver an increase in return on investment and see that in the monthly recurring revenue. Now, week 7 to 15, it's going to be the guarantee I'm going to be talking about later, but we're going to work for you if results are not met. And in the worst case scenario, we'll refund the difference. So again, I'm going to be talking about that afterwards. So if you are a tech founder or tech CEO who's doing above the 100K MRR, and you have organic traffic starting about 16,000 new visitors per month on a monthly basis, then this is for you. Now, I just want to mention that if you are at a place where you don't have visitors, you don't have a user acquisition system in place, we can help you with that as well. Now, back to this. If you want to unlock new avenues for growth and scale your business, you want to instantly increase your users and sales and revenue without months of development work so you can maximize your company's impact in what you do, then this is for you. On the bottom of this video, there's going to be a button where you can book a call with me. And to make it easy for you and a complete no-brainer by removing all the risk, we have 3 guarantees. The number 1 guarantee is that we're going to help you increase your monthly recurring revenue with the goal of hitting the return on investment within just 45 days. Now, if we don't achieve that in the 45 days, we're going to work with you guys for 2 months for free until we do. And the third guarantee we have is that we're going to refund you the difference. If after working for 3 months, and I want to mention that it's very unlikely that we don't see any sort of results at this point, but if that happens and you don't see anything, or we see not the results that we're looking for, we're going to refund you the difference. Okay, and this is going to remove all the risk for you. Then afterwards, we're going to do a revenue share and performance guarantee. And that means you only pay if we perform. So if all of that sounds good to you, then just below this video, there's going to be a button where you can book a free strategy session with me. And on that call, what we're going to do is a deep dive to see where you guys are at, where the missing opportunities are, and also to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. Now, I want to mention that we are only taking on 5 new clients per month. So if you want help to increase your revenue by 10 to 40% on a complete done-for-you basis, book that call and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you guys for tuning in and hope to see you guys on the other side. Bye.